We're going to give it just a couple of seconds here to have people get on. As you jump on, let us know who you are, where you're coming from. Tom and Lauren Hamper, thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. That's great news. Like I said, we'll get started in just a few minutes here. So let us know as you get on. Go ahead and write in the chat who's here. Crystal Robinson, welcome. Glad to have you here. Katya Gill is raising her hand. Valerie Rose, great to see you. Gio in Salt Lake City, welcome on everyone. We're gonna get started in just about 15 more seconds here. Cody's listening in from Layton. Christine from Chicago. All right, welcome everyone, welcome. Okay, let me close this out real quick. All right, welcome to the Wednesday webinar. I'm very excited to be here tonight with our Chief Information Officer, Troy Hiltbrand. I've invited him on because, as you know, we recently launched Kyani's artificial intelligence, and there's no better person to talk to than Troy when it comes to questions about that. And so we're going to hear from him in just a couple of minutes here. But I want to start the call by mentioning a couple of things that are happening at Kyani right now that are really exciting. First of all, you see the clock behind me. I think there's 60. Couldn't remember if it was 67 or 68. 67 days left for that contest. So this morning or at some point today, I put up some winners already of our Convention Cash Countdown. We have one person who's qualified for the third tier. We have a couple people who are qualified for the second tier already, and several qualified for that first tier by reaching their 75 points. We have all of those listed on our recognition.kyani.com site. Check it out, because we want you to join that list. We want you to hit your 75 points and to get your $500 and then come to convention and get another $500. That's the goal. That's the idea. So check out where you are. See where you're matching up here against your competition, because we want to see you win. We want to see you walk across the stage and earn some money. So again, you can go to recognition.kyani.com for that. Also, we announced yesterday, the 22nd, that we have a brand new pack that we're offering from yesterday, the 22nd, through the 31st of January. And it's an absolutely incredible deal on our products. So here's what we're doing. It's called the New Year's Pack, if you haven't seen it already. What you're going to get a 30-pack of Sunrise. You're going to get a Sunset bottle, a Nitro FX 8-pack, a Nitro Extreme 8-pack, and then you're also going to get the Fluoresce Day Cream, Fluoresce Night Cream, as well as the Fluoresce Cleanser. So 7 products. Normally, if you buy them all separately, it's $400. We're selling it to you for $169.95. Incredible deal. You don't want to miss out. Make sure to tell your team. Make sure everybody gets some, whether it's for sampling, whether it's for yourself, if you got a big family, whatever you need. This is a great deal. $169.95. It's 150 QV and 100 CV. So again, that runs to the end of the month. So make sure that you get that before it ends, because I promise you it will not be extended beyond the 31st. So make sure to get that. Help finish your month strong as well. All right. Now let's get to what we want to talk about tonight. Tonight is basically a question and answer regarding Kai. Which, as I mentioned earlier, is Kyani's artificial intelligence. We introduced this just a few weeks ago, actually, and we've had great responses so far, and we'll talk about that later in the call. But we've also had a lot of questions of how it gets used, and just a lot of great questions which need to be answered, and we want to help answer those. So I've invited onto the call our Chief Information Officer, Troy Hiltbrand. And what we're going to do is we accumulated some of the questions that we've had regarding Kai, and we've kind of put them into the top, I think it's 7 or 8 questions that we have. So we want to make sure that we answer those questions tonight. As I mentioned, it's been an incredible tool, and Kai is designed to help you, to help reach out to those high-valued individuals who might need a little more attention. So that's the goal behind it, but as we rolled it out, we saw that there were some questions, and so we're going to jump right into that and answer those right now. So Troy, welcome to the call.
Thank you very much, Skyleur.
All right, so let's get right into this here. The first one that we got, Troy, was who receives a Kai alert? So do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Sure. Let me tell you a little bit about how Kai works. So Kai is actively looking at all of the activity in the organization. And when it identifies a person who is active but needs a little bit of additional attention, then the system looks to find the upline who is the right person to take care of that individual. Now, a majority of the time, that first person that it's going to find is going to be the sponsor, because that's the individual who brought them into the organization. That's the person who has the best relationship with them. Now, there will be cases when that sponsor is a lower rank of the person who needs the attention, or the sponsor is not active. In that case, it will go further up the tree. But it's really targeting who is going to be that best person to reach out and give that individual that attention that they need so that they can both be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that several people have received alerts, and sometimes they might not know the person that well. Sometimes they know them really well. I talked to a leader today who it was one of her good friends, but sometimes you might not know them as well. And it's exactly what Troy said. If the sponsor's not the right person, then it's going to move to that upline so that we get them the attention that they need. So hopefully that helps answer that question that's come up a few times for us. Now, the next thing that people have asked is, we've said in the past, and Troy may have just mentioned it here, is that you have to be active in order to receive an alert. So we've had some people ask, what does it mean to be active according to Kai?
Okay, so in Kai, it's looking at two types of people for activity. The first is the person that needs the additional attention. The second is the sponsor who's going to be reached out to. And activity is defined in the same way for both of those individuals. And it's any individual who has ordered, who has earned a check, or who has enrolled somebody in the last 90 days. Now, so these are the individuals that we want to reach out to because they've had recent activity. And we want Kai is reaching out to these type of individuals to do that nurturing activity as well. So it's activity within the last 90 days, either ordering, earning a check, or enrolling someone.
Perfect. All right, I think that answers that question. I won't add anything else to that. Next question that we've gotten pretty frequently is, how does Kai determine if an alert goes out and who needs the attention? And you've touched on this a bit, but if you could go into it a little bit more in detail.
Now, this is where Kai is really exciting, because Kai, the way that we built Kai is that we looked at over 10 million patterns of business partners and customers over the last many years. And we identified what does it look like when a business partner or a customer needs that additional attention. And so what happens is that there are patterns that we're looking at in terms of who are they enrolling? How are they purchasing? What kind of activity are they doing in the tools like the back office and Kyani Pro? And then it compares these and identifies, based on all of these patterns in the history of what we've built, who is it that we need to reach out to? Second, it looks at their potential value. And it tries to match up those people who have the highest potential value and need the most nurture. And those are the alerts that are going out.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, I hope you guys heard that. Over 10 million patterns, I think you call them. I mean, it's looking at so many different things to determine how we can help this individual. So it really is incredible, exciting technology that we have here. And a lot of you have received these alerts. Some of you have not, which is okay. But as you receive these alerts, you'll notice that what it does first is, on your very first alert, if you haven't received one yet, it gives you a welcome message. It says, hey, I'm Kai. This is what I can do for you. Basically welcome you to who Kai is. And then it's going to send you a message with the individual's information in it, meaning that you're going to get a message with a name, an ID number, and then it's going to give you a number to call. And this is where our next question comes in. The number to call might not be a number that you recognize, even if it's your best friend that you're calling. So one of the questions is, how does the phone number that comes in the message with Kai work, and why do we use that phone number?
So the phone number that we give or that Kai provides to you is actually a pass-through number. What that means is that that number is temporarily assigned to the individual that needs nurturing for you. So when you call through that number, it's going to reroute to their actual number. Now, this is done to protect the privacy of the field, both the person who's receiving the call and your privacy. So as you're making the call, your number is not showing up to that individual either. They're seeing that pass-through number. And so it provides a layer of privacy for both parties. Now, if you've got somebody that you've got a good relationship with, if this is somebody that you've sponsored and you've got their number in your contacts, you can go ahead and you can call them, you can text them, you can WhatsApp them or Facebook Messenger them directly. That's not a problem. Just when you get done, reply to that message from Kai with the word done, and it's going to mark it as being complete. So really, we want to make sure that we're balancing between privacy of individuals and the ability for you to reach out to people who you know and you have a comfort level. Now, that being said, if it's your friend and they might not respond if the number is not coming from you, it's coming from this pass-through number, go ahead and reach out to them directly so that you make sure that you have that contact. And then when you're done, just text done to the message. And again, it will mark it as complete and you'll be on your way.
Yeah, that's a great clarification. I've had a lot of people ask me, if I don't use that number, or if that number is not working, is Kai going to recognize that I've done it? Because I don't want my influencer score to go down. And as Troy mentioned, the answer is yes. It will still recognize it, even if you don't use that number. It will recognize it if you use, if you just contact them directly or whatever that might look like, as long as you text done. That's the most important thing.
Now, if you are using that number, it's recording it in the background. So if you go ahead and text that number or call that number, it is recording that you're having that conversation with that individual. And so you don't necessarily have to type done when that's the case.
Yeah. And just a clarification, when we say it's recording, it's showing that you've made the call. It's not actually recording the conversation, but it is showing that you've made the call. So, and that goes to our next question, which I think you kind of answered. The question was, can I use that pass-through number to text as well? And will it still count if I do that?
Absolutely. So the number is set up that either if you call it or you text to it, it's going to route that to the recipient, and it's going to record that you've done the activity. Like you said, it's not recording the messages themselves or the calls themselves. It's just recording that there's been activity, there's been that reach out communication to the recipient, and that they're getting the nurturing that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most important thing is that you text done. That's what lets the system know, okay, we've completed it. So it's kind of a double checking type of system when you click done or text done. Okay. So when Kai sends a message, it sends some basic information. It sends like I said, the name, the ID number, and a little bit of information. But if you want to get more information about this person, where can you get more information so that you can best help them?
So in the back office, we have many reports that give you additional information about the people in your organization. So you have things like the genealogy view. You can do a filter by ID number. That's going to pull up their record. You can drill from there into their fast start tracker, into their paygate tracker, into their rank tracker, and you can see where they're at this month in terms of their volume, their organization volume. You can also look in the tree, both the downline tree and the downline path. If you want to see where that individual is in your organization and how many levels are between you and them, you can do a search in the downline path and you can see exactly which leaders live between you and that individual. You can also go into team streams and use the search capability there to see if there's been any activity. Have they earned any bonuses? Have they achieved any new ranks? Have they done anything that is of note so that when you place that call to them, you have this background of what they've currently done or what they've done in the recent history, so that you can have a good conversation. Now, if this customer that the Kai notification is about is one of your personal customers, you can also go into the customer report and you can get some basic information about who that customer is and what they've done.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on this for just another quick minute here. I've had some people ask, will Kai tell me why I'm calling this individual? Will it tell me if they stopped their auto ship? Will it tell me if they stopped ordering? The answer is no. It's going to give you basic information, and you can type in stats, and it will give you the last order, how much volume they ordered. But really, as Troy mentioned, if you want to find information, if you want to make this a really valuable, really effective call, use those back office tools. They give you so much information on that customer or that business partner, especially, that it's really, not only is it beneficial, I would recommend not calling someone until you've gone in and looked and really checked out their organization or their activity, so that you know who you're calling and how to answer any questions that they might have. So thank you for that. Now you've noticed on Kai that you have some options. I just mentioned one of them, which is you can type menu and then you can type stats. One of the options on there is stop. Now, if someone does not want to receive Kai notifications, they can click stop, or they can text stop, and they won't receive those anymore. But Troy, the question is, if I hit stop, do I have the option of starting again later, or am I out of Kai entirely?
No, you absolutely do. So stop can be utilized as a temporary pause. So when you text stop to the number, what it's going to do is it's going to take you out of consideration for a Kai alert. So what it's going to do is it's just going to pass over top of you, just as if you were inactive. But if you want to get back into the game, all you need to do is text opt in or start to that number, and you're going to get right back on that list of potential uplines so that you can continue assisting your team.
Perfect. And if you go on vacation or something like that, it can just be a couple of days and you can start up again, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Fantastic. Now, this is the question that comes up pretty often, and I'll jump in and answer this as well. But what should they say? What should they say to the person that they're calling?
So, I mean, really, this is where your research comes into play. When you're looking at the back office and you're looking at where they're at, where they need help, have they achieved their fast start? Are they hitting their pay gates? Are they hitting their ranks? These are the best conversations to have with that individual, because you really want to personalize it. You want to get down to what they need. And when you call them up, be prepared to have a conversation about what is it going to take to make them successful in the business. Because that's really what we're talking about with Kai. It's about a nurture program. And you want to work together with them to make them successful. But in order to make them successful, you've got to be armed with the information of what success looks like for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Use those reports. Another thing that I would suggest, and we've tasked a lot of the leaders in the field with this, is talk to your upline. Talk to those who may have a little more experience than you on how to approach this conversation and on what to say, because there's a very good likelihood that your support team or your upline has scripts that you might want to follow, or if it's not scripts, some suggested guidelines on how to respond to these messages that are coming. So touch base with your support team, your upline. Make sure that you're working together to create that message that really is effective for the particular person that you're calling. All right. Once they complete a task, they've texted done, what happens?
Okay, so inside of Kai, what there is there's a queue of messages or a queue of individuals that need your attention. And so as soon as you finish up one of those messages, if there is another one, within a few minutes, you're going to get another individual. Now, if you've finished up all the messages for the day and there's nothing else, then you wouldn't get anything else. But what's happening is every day we're evaluating all of the people in the system and identifying who do we need to put in that queue. So if you've got one that you've had for a day or so, you might want to finish that one up and mark it as done, so that you'll get the next one. Now, the way that that is sorted is by their potential value. So the higher the value, the higher the place in the message queue they are. But if you've got one from yesterday or from 2 days ago, you might have one in the queue that's of higher value, but you won't see it until you complete the task at hand that you have open.
Yeah, exactly. So we want you to get them done quickly, but don't forget to do the research prior to making the call. So do the research, make the call, and as Troy mentioned, if you have any more in the queue, we'll get them to you pretty quickly so that we can make sure to get to all the people who need assistance or need a little bit more nurturing. All right, last question we have here, and hopefully you've gotten some value out of this. Where can I get more information if I still have questions? Because we've answered a lot of questions here, but where can they get more information if their question hasn't been answered tonight?
So if you have additional questions, we do have the website kai.kyani.com, kai.kyani.com. It has a section on it that is questions and answers. Just click on the question, it'll expand it out and you'll see the answer. Or if you have additional questions or any issues with it, you can always give customer service a call and they can assist you.
Absolutely. Now I want to end, I don't want to take too much time because these are meant to be short calls, but this technology really is amazing, but it all depends on you. It depends on how you handle it and depends on how you reach out. And so we're trying to give you as much information as possible so that you can reach out and you can be effective with this. And I want to just share a couple of examples here. One from one of our diamonds up in Canada who received a Kai alert. She called them, actually she messaged them on Facebook immediately, and she sent me the conversation, and it was really well done. She just introduced herself. You know, she didn't know them personally very well, but she introduced herself, talked a little bit to them, and at first they were pretty cold and pretty closed off, and they said, you know what, I'm good. But she persisted, and she said, you know, I just wanted to see how you like the products. And all of a sudden, this person opened up and talked about how much the products had done for her husband. And it went into a conversation where it ended up that this woman was going to attend a meeting that was happening that weekend that otherwise she wouldn't even have attended or may not even, you know, have considered or known about if it weren't for this individual reaching out from a Kai message. So that's one story that I think is absolutely fantastic. Another story was from one of our green diamonds down in Texas. He received a Kai alert, and he reached out to that individual, texted them, got a conversation going, and they were actually on his call, his leadership call the next day. So this really does work, and the accuracy of it is amazing, and how effective it can be for your business. But again, it all depends on you. So please, my advice to you is jump in with both feet. Make sure that you take care of these messages quickly. Make sure that you meet with your upline to get the right messaging, and you make these calls really effective, because as you do, you're going to see much more involvement and much more community feel as we start these messages and we continue to send Kai messages to you. So we hope you love it. We think we've heard that you are, but we wanted to answer some of these general questions. So Troy, I want to thank you so much for your time, and I want to thank everybody for getting on this call and spending a few minutes with us tonight. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday night and a great finish to the month. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic night.
Thank you.